By the end of this podcast episode, you'll understand why it's okay to not feel okay, how to release the guilt that comes with those heavier emotions, and to allow yourself to move towards peace while you feel the heavy feelings. We're going to unpack why emotional lows don't mean you're broken. They mean you're alive, you're growing and learning, and how to honor every part of your journey. I'm Kim Strobel, and this is She Finds Joy. Hello, friends. It's Kim Strobel, and welcome back to She Finds Joy. And by the way, I'm showing up with no makeup, my hair not done, and I'm still in my running clothes because this topic that we're about to talk about today feels like you need to see the real version of Kim Strobel. Today, I want to have a real and honest conversation about something that we all feel, but we rarely talk about. And that is the days when we just don't feel okay. The times when your outside life or your social media life looks really great, but inside you might be struggling or something feels kind of off. And you know those moments when you're showing up, you're doing the work, you're trying to hustle, you're trying to grind, you're trying to get yourself there, but it seems like it's not working, or you just can't get ahead, or you're a little heavy, something feels off. I've been in that space lately. And I just want to say that it's okay to not feel okay. I don't think that we allow ourselves to not feel okay, or if we feel down or a little hopeless or like we're failing at life, it feels so heavy that then we start to over exaggerate that we're not allowed to feel this way because we have a really good life. Or we worry about these darker feelings that we might feel. So let me give you an example. For some reason, this goes all the way back to my childhood. Fall, the season of autumn, which is when I'm recording this podcast episode. You might not be listening to it until the spring, but I'm recording it today. And fall always feels on me. I don't know if it's the changing seasons, the fact that the days get a little shorter, there's a different feel in the air, which I do love, but it seems like it's a hard season for me to adjust to. And sometimes I think, is it because I'm coming off of all my August travel where I'm tuned in, I'm turned on, I'm speaking on stages, I'm connecting to people. And then I come back from my speaking tour and I'm back in my office doing a lot of work and not out on as many stages. I mean, I might be on 2 or 3 a month, but it's nothing like the everyday dopamine hits that I'm getting in August. And so even though my life feels really good in a lot of ways, there's still some things that I'm working through. And I think that there are seasons when life feels heavy or we're not seeing the progress that we hoped to see. Maybe we don't have ourselves in a spot yet where we think we should be at our age. Maybe our career isn't where it should be. Maybe our family life, our marriage life feels a little off. It could be any numerous things, maybe our parenting and our children and the stage they're in. It can all feel kind of hard. And there's times when you just feel like you're stuck and you're not moving and you're not going anywhere and nothing's changing. And even though you're hustling and you're striving, it's like the needle's not being moved. And what I'm trying to embrace and learn that in those moments, you're not failing, even though it might feel like you're behind everyone else, especially when you see how people show up on social media. I feel like it's really easy to go to my Kim Sablehouse Strobel Facebook page and think like, my gosh, that girl and her life, it's absolutely amazing because I purposely share a lot of what I'm doing because I want it to inspire others to know that they really can live a big, bold, brave life and it can be beautiful in so many facets. But I also try to do posts that show that sometimes I too am struggling and I'm a very real person and this is normal. And we don't always realize when we see everybody else's fabulous posts that there's usually a lot more going on behind the scenes than what people show. And that's why I try to show both sides when I can to my own life. But I think that sometimes when you feel stuck or when you feel like the needle's not moving or nothing you're doing is working or you're not able to grow your business or your marriage has taken a step back instead of a step forward maybe, or your kids aren't where they need to be yet, we all can kind of feel like, what else can I do? I'm hustling so hard and nothing is changing. And I think that there are seasons in life when maybe the universe, the world is just saying, it's okay to pause. It's okay to feel the yuckiness of it. It's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to be disappointed that you're not as far along as you want to be. And maybe, just maybe, you're in a preparation time for what is coming your way. So maybe it's okay to not feel okay. And I know for me personally, I think that people see me as this like positive, chippery, happy person. And I do feel like I have a lot of that in my life and I work at it. I'm a happiness practitioner. So there's certain habits that I do daily to help me feel more of that. But that's not all of who Kim Strobel is. I have down days too. I have days where I feel like it's hard to smile and I'm not sure why. I have days when joy feels really far away and I don't know why, where maybe I feel stuck, like I'm dealing with decade-long patterns that I still haven't broken in myself, which makes me crazy. But maybe that's just a part of being human, right? And maybe you can feel that sometimes in yourself and just say, I don't have to feel wonderful all the time, and I can actually lean in to the uncomfortableness and the discomfort of life. Hi, friends. It's Kim here. If you're loving these conversations on the She Finds Joy podcast, just imagine the energy and inspiration I could bring to your school, your business, or your organization. I deliver high energy keynotes on everything from the science of happiness and well being to growth mindset, remember your why, radical wellness, creating passion and purpose, and all of the topics that teach us how to show up and feel better in every area of our lives. My talks are packed with real stories and, of course, science-based strategies and a lot of contagious joy. If you've ever been to a Kim Strobel keynote, you know the audience is going to experience every single emotion. They're going to cry, they're going to laugh, they're going to jump for joy. We're going to raise the entire energy of the room. If your team or school or business could use a boost of energy, hope, and some science-based strategies, I'd love to be your next keynote speaker. You can learn more about me at kimstrobel.com if you're a business or an organization, and at strobeleducation.com if you're a school. I would love to create a ripple effect of positivity and happiness in your workplaces, but also in your personal lives. Because maybe, just maybe, there's something else brewing, and I'm needing this time to pause and to be in this space because of what might be coming. And it really reminds me of my grandmother. Many of you who have heard me speak on stages have heard me talk about my grandmother. She passed away at 100 years old. She was the happiest person that I knew. And for 25 years, I had a standing Friday lunch date with this remarkable woman. And she was somebody who almost always focused on the blessings in her life. And you rarely heard her talk about the hard stuff. But every now and then she would say, Kimmy, when I feel down or used to feel down from time to time, I would go get my hair fixed. And it always made me feel better. And I'm also thinking of this picture I have in my mind because when we would go to the local lunch cafe here in Tell City on Fridays, she would always order dessert first. And it just makes me think like maybe Graham was onto something. maybe we don't always have to be fixing our life. Maybe we don't always have to be striving for the next thing in our life. Maybe it's more about finding the small ways we can take care of ourselves until the light returns. And for me, for whatever reason, maybe it's this dreary fall day. It's been a really tough 10 days. I've had something that I'm trying to deal with in my own life. Actually, I've got about 5 things that are moving and shaking on the inside of Kim Strobel right now that I'm not ready to share yet, but they've been hard pills to swallow and they've been difficult waters to navigate. And I'm left sometimes feeling like you're just not there yet, Kim. Why? What are others doing that you're not doing? Because they seem so much further ahead of you. And so all this just to say is if you're feeling a little off, you feel behind in your life, you feel like you're simply not enough, which is what I feel some of the time, maybe just giving yourself a little bit of kindness, a little bit of space. You're not broken. You're not totally behind. You're not less than others. And you're certainly not alone in these feelings because I feel this myself at times. And this is just your gentle reminder that it's okay to feel like you're in a space that isn't where you want to be right now. And to acknowledge that discomfort, to let those feelings come up, but also to say, I maybe don't have to have it all figured out just yet. Maybe I can just sit with it. And maybe there's something else brewing. And for this season in my life, I need to let it be what it is. I believe in that philosophy of right action, divine timing. So you keep taking the actions you're supposed to take. And maybe in due time, when it's ready to germinate, when the seeds have been planted and it's ready to sprout, then you'll be ready for it because you had the space and grace to give yourself a little bit of pause and to say, it's okay that I don't have it figured out yet. And if you need a little inspiration, there is this singer, songwriter. She went by the name of Nightbirde. And I believe it was like in 2020 or 2021, she performed her song, It's Okay, on America's Got Talent. And Simon on America's Got Talent was just blown away by this song, It's Okay, because the whole philosophy is it's okay to not be okay. And she's a very vibrant young woman who had cancer, and she ended up having to withdraw because she was dying, and she did die at the age of 22. But this song, It's Okay by Nightbirde, I would love for you just to go and listen to it and to kind of wrap yourself in your own big hug and say, it is okay to not be okay. And if you know somebody who could use this podcast episode today, I'd appreciate it if you would share it or tag me in the episode link on Instagram at Kim Strobel Joy. And I would love to know if you sometimes feel like you're not okay too. And maybe we can find a little comfort in knowing that we're not alone. Thank you so much for joining me on the She Finds Joy show today. I'm truly honored that you chose to spend your time here with me, my dear friend. If this episode brought you encouragement or a fresh perspective, I would be so grateful if you took a moment to leave a review. Just head to kimstrobel.com/review. And what it does is it helps more people find these important conversations. Don't forget, you can also subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode. Thank you again for listening in. I am so very grateful, my friend, to walk this journey with you. I also want to encourage you to share this episode with everybody in your life you care about. We all need encouragement and real talk. Thank you for listening and watching. I believe in you for being able to create a life that feels good from the inside out. Remember, you are deserving of joy and happiness.